So, in your humble opinion, Mr. Lenny, would you say that this Avatar, The Way of Water, is one of the most hotly anticipated movies in film history? 13 years in the making. And so what do you think? Would you say that there is any other movie that you were so intensely anticipating?
It's The Matrix Part 2. Of
course you'd say that, but that wasn't 13 years in the making, though.
Yeah, it wasn't 13, but I was still hyped
because its director wanted to be a perfectionist with its technical aspects.
I would say maybe, The Force Awakens. It's probably the most excited.
That is a good one
for like a legacy sequel. Yeah,
but we both know that didn't quite deliver entirely, right? But did Avatar: The Way of Water deliver? Find out coming up.
It was a masterpiece. I mean, I'm gonna give it 5 reels for sure. What?
Welcome back to the Real Screeners, everyone. And before we get started, I just want to wish all of you guys happy holidays. It is the Christmas season in 2022 right now. It
is the Christmas season.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, so
still going through puberty.
I want to wish you guys that. And also want to remind you guys, hey, we would appreciate it if you guys would give us a subscribe, hit the like button. It's very fast. That thumbs up down there, guys. Share it to everyone you know, and hit the bell button so that you know every time we upload a video.
Yes, they'll definitely know. You must know. But what you really want to know is our thoughts on Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yeah.
I had
some friends asking me last night, is it worth the watch?
Is it worth it?
Should I watch it in 3D?
Should I watch it in 3D or 2D? Well, I mean, we watched it in 2D.
We did. Yeah.
I'm personally not so very partial to 3D. I mean, I'll watch a 3D movie, but I know that this movie specifically is made with the intent of being shown in 3D. And that's a whole other conversation, right?
Yeah.
With the first movie, like it spawned a whole thing of 3D movies.
Yeah, that wave of 3D, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
2D's okay.
This is a continuation of the 2009 Avatar film, which was lauded for its technical achievements, its special effects, sound editing, cinematography,
story,
various things. And it continues the story of Sully and Neytiri, right? Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana, and their children.
Yeah.
And of course their conflict still with the humans, right?
The sky people are back.
The colonizers, if you will. I like to call them the colonizers.
Sure, why not? We are a colonizing species.
But they are the sky people. Yeah. Well, I thought that this movie is visually staggering.
Yes, I was staggering out of my chair.
You were literally launching. So anyway, no. Like, I don't think that there's any movie that can rival this as far as like the visual, the capabilities, these Na'vi, right?
The Na'vi,
yes. They look astoundingly real.
Unbelievable,
and
guys.
The way that they measure up to their surroundings, also everything looks astoundingly real.
Yeah, on the skin, you can see their pores, the texture. It's
the hair, their hair is everything. Their nails, everything looks amazing.
Cameron waited so long to do this movie because he wanted to make sure the effects were where he needed them to be.
Yeah, and let's talk about the effects because this is what makes this movie what it is. And so for me, I was mesmerized by the motion capture that was done specifically underwater.
Right.
I know that these actors had to train to be able to breathe underwater. Specifically, a lot was talked about in the news with Kate Winslet, like, I don't know, holding her breath underwater for like 7 minutes, something crazy like that.
Yeah, because Cameron wanted he wanted it to look not Aquaman, which looked fake. He wanted, hey, look, I want this to look real, so I want to film this underwater so their motions and the buoyancy is right.
And it looks incredibly real.
Yeah, there's a bonanza of colors. A lot of the set pieces, the establishing shots were glorious. There were scenes in there with giant things breaching the ocean and just gave everything away. which looks staggering.
Big animals.
Yeah. So
Or creatures or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, technically fantastic, guys.
My initial reaction was that I enjoyed the first movie more. The way that the forest is introduced in the first movie, the way that it's demystified, is a lot more intriguing and interesting.
Time to check the mail.
Yeah, the way that the forest world of Pandora is introduced in the first movie, the way that they take the time to demystify it and kind of create this like environment that you're not familiar with, sure about, is more interesting and intriguing. This movie is very heavy on action, and they do take the time to show you the beauty of the ocean, right?
Sure, yeah.
They do take the time to show you, like, for almost like what it seemed like, the first half of the movie, or maybe even like 45 minutes into the movie.
That's interesting. Well, you mean as far as being introduced to the ocean?
Yeah, like they have these moments of like, let's
act.
glide with these creatures and let's show you the beautiful colors of the ocean. And I get it. Like, James Cameron is a lover of
the environment,
the
oceans,
and he's speaking to like the beauty of the ocean and preserving it and cherishing it, right?
So yeah, going back to what you said about the first movie having more intrigue, introducing the forest and all that, they kind of try that in this movie. This movie, guys, has a lot of rehashes, and some of the main beats from the first one are reflected in this one. And so so in that reference, they do take you to a new world, right? They take you out of the forest, they bring you to this ocean, these ocean villages. Right. So they try to recapture that mystique by now, bringing you into the ocean and all that. But like you said, it kind of loses some luster because it seems like the director is more concerned about how it looks than how it really, really interacts with the characters. I'm being a little nitpicky, guys, because there is something they do engage with these whale-like creatures called the Tulun, which are very central to the plot, by the way. And yeah, I agree with you, man. Like I like the first one a little bit better, a little more intrigue. This one I thought didn't really drag for the first two acts. I kind of felt like they interspersed a lot of action. Actually, I felt like it was kind of action heavy. It
is
many
very
points.
action heavy, yeah,
and it diluted the character development. If I'm going to be very picky about it, and critical. But I do feel like Cameron did have some moments that could have been shortened. They hang on certain elements like the whales, the ocean, certain things that you kind of feel like, yes, he's really trying to.
He really extends the scene.
He really wants to talk about environmentalism, or he's extending this scene. There's one scene in particular about a fluid. I don't want to give it away, and I'm like, well, how does that work back into the plot? I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like there were things in this movie that he really wanted to,
kind of like MacGuffins, right? They're kind of like presented,
that too,
but kind of left unresolved in a way. And so you don't know exactly what the point is.
It's his personal things that he wanted to get out there, but maybe the audience didn't really care as much as he did. So
yeah, no, I just felt like this was, as far as like the plot and the story, this is a family film, and that really takes center stage. It's a movie about parents and their kids, the dynamics between parents and their kids. It's stuff we've seen before. This movie felt very Cameron. Like, you can literally freeze scenes in this movie and juxtapose them with Titanic or with Aliens or with Terminator 2. Like, seriously, you can immediately tell it's a James Cameron film, especially towards the end and some of the action sequences. And I cannot emphasize enough how great the set designs are and the special effects, but again, the movie suffers because it's an all too familiar story. Some things are quite predictable, especially with the outcomes of some of the characters, and that's what I just kind of feel. That's how I felt.
It's just so much rehash. I'm so tired of these sequels. This was kind of like a borderline legacy sequel, right? And these sequels that take so much time off, going back and revisiting the first one, and you guys remember this, and hey, let's pull this nostalgia string. Like, come on already, I mean, granted, it was beautiful to watch, but the story didn't really grip me. And I think I'm really big on characterization. I just felt like it was diluted because they went into so many different characters and they didn't build their main characters up enough. That's my gripe on that.
And then maybe some of the kids, right? Maybe some of the children characters.
I didn't want to get too specific, but yeah.
Yeah, and no, I mean, one thing that I do appreciate about both Avatar films is that Cameron seems to have a very almost like a sense of very deep spirituality with the earth and the love of earth and nature and the circle of life, and that goes back to that tree, that underwater.
Yeah.
Well, there was a tree. There was a, okay.
Iowa, yeah.
So in the first movie, there was that grand tree, and here there's an underwater one, and
it
whatever.
looks like a giant anemone.
Spoiler, but it's there. And the way that there's I think the term is symbiotic. Ooh.
Well, you went to
symbiotic.
You graduated from high school.
I did. I certainly did. No, a symbiotic relationship between these characters and the world around them, and that's really cool. I really dig that in the movie. I think it separates it a tad bit from the regular fare of this type of genre. Right. I would say.
I want to say that Neytiri played and voiced
Saldana,
right, by Zoe Saldana, is still and will always be my favorite character for me. She is so good at portraying a range of emotions, this feral fierceness when she has to bring it out.
Yeah, and in this case, a mother.
Yes,
a protective mother,
right?
And that mother instinct comes out
crazy like a Wolverine. Yeah. And then like when she's sad, you could feel her pain. Mm-hmm, my goodness. Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, he's okay. I mean, he's there.
Yeah,
the kids I thought were okay.
He does well enough. The kids do a fine job. I think another standout. Well, the standouts for me in the movie besides Saldana were Kate Winslet as Ronal. This other, she belongs to another tribe, right. the Water
She's
tribe,
like
the queen of that tribe, and then Kiri.
Oh right.
Voiced by Sigourney Weaver. Kate Winslet was almost as feral as Saldana, and strong.
If they would have given her more screen time.
If they would have given her more screen time, I think she would have gotten that. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about The Way of Water.
I would just add one last thing about Kiri, played by Sigourney Weaver, like you said, is that she is central to the movie, guys. She has a strong connection with Iwa, and that's interesting. And I think that they'll do more with her in the next movie.
She's wise beyond her years, I think. Yeah. But anyway,
all right, real rating time.
Real ratings, yes. Real rating. I'll go first. I thought about this earlier. I'm going to give it 2 different ratings, right? Because this is one of those movies where, and by the way, this movie does not deserve, and this is going to be controversial.
Uh-oh.
It does not deserve to be nominated for Best Picture. Come on. No. No. The Critics' Choice Awards, the Golden Globes.
I agree.
There are better movies with more substance and originality. This is... If it wasn't for the visual feast and accomplishment that this movie is, no. And then
there's the wait too, that you waited for this. We waited.
Yeah. And so as far as technical achievements, definitely a 5 out of 5. But as a movie, I would not give this more than 4 out of 5. For me, it's a solid 4 out of 5.
You mean you weren't moved by the Save the Whales agenda in this movie?
I love all that. That's cool. But no, man. All too familiar.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Beto. I'm agreeing with your 4 real rating because for everything you said, this movie anchors itself a lot, and this is probably what those bougie people who vote for these awards are thinking about. Aside from the technical aspects, there's a slew of commentary, social commentary in here. There's friends, family, community, charity,
environment,
redemption, yes, environmentalism, colonization. There's so charity. I mean, there's just so many in here.
There are indeed,
but that could be to its detriment too, because it's a lot of moving parts in this movie for sure, and a lot of parallel stories, and so for that I'll give it 4 reels out of 5, man.
There you have it. Let us know what you think of The Way of Water in the comments down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, look us up on social media. We're on TikTok and Facebook, Real Screeners, and Instagram, real.screeners.
Okay, and I'll send you guys off by sending you to our website. It's realscreeners.com, guys, where you can find some awesome original designs or movie mashup designs. I guarantee there will be at least 2 that you love here. So check it out. We've got a nice discount at checkout, okay? And catch us on the flip side for our next Real Take on Movies.